When we want to go through and we want to set up our networking here, for this, we come down here into the GUI, go click on our network access here. We can talk about our virtual IP pools here. So this particular cluster, one of our test clusters, one of our lab clusters, we've got a whole bunch of different VIP pools here. So we go through, we create our VIP pools. Again, the GUIs here, the screenshot's going to be a little different than what are in the slides. There, we'll go through, we'll give it a name here. So I'm going to call this MITRE pool. For this, we define the role. Again, it's going to be either protocols for replication, give it a gateway IP address. This network, we don't have a particular gateway on it, so it is a dedicated isolated network, so I'm not going to set that there, but I can set these with the IPv4, IPv6. I can define the VLAN. I can define the subnet mask here, so my particular subnet mask is /16 for this. And we can select, again, our resource selection here. So resource selection here is going to be, are we going to use all the ports on the CNodes or just the left or right? It's going to default to using all the individual CNodes, but if I don't want to use all the CNodes, I can select which ones I wish to have this VIP pool created on here. So I just select CNode 3.1 and 3.2 for that, and I'm going to use that there. And then we can go through and define our IP range list here, where I'll go through and I'll select my IP addresses I wish to use and add those in. And then once I've got that defined, I can go through and define my DNS configuration here. And it will give me, this is going to be the FQDN that will be utilized for that I could go through and immediately access those. So a couple other items here, which I kind of glossed over, is a VMS preferred. This would mean, this basically says, prefer the CNodes that are defined in this group for running VMS. In certain large clusters where you may have network and complex networking there's a reason to go through and do this. 99% of the time, most clusters I see, they don't select this for that. So we just VMS will start on any particular CNode. And the last one here, which is a common question, is how do we go through and how do we handle balancing? Are the IP addresses assigned based on load? Does DNS assign based on load? Quick answer is no. There isn't any load consideration put for this in terms of either DNS responses for clients picking IP addresses or our IP address distribution. We don't dynamically move IP addresses based on load. However, in larger clusters or clusters that have been established for a while, and you may have multiple generations of CNodes, newer CNodes have more horsepower, more powerful CPUs, maybe faster networks where they can handle more VIP addresses. So you can go through, and you do have options here to go through and put, tell the system that when you create this VIP pool, put more VIP addresses on these faster CNodes to give you more to just balance out, make the performance a little bit more equal across us with different generations of hardware in there. Virtual IPs, again, when we go through and we have a particular CNode here, a particular pool here, we can see here that we do have one out of, sitting out across all 8 of these here, basically 2 per. So I'm going to go through and just kind of demonstrate here real quickly how we do our failovers here. So I'm going to take a look at something here and make sure I don't grab one of my CNodes that is running VMS, because that would take us out for a while. Okay, so I got that one. I'm going to take CNode 3.3. Looks like a good candidate. He's not running VMS, so we'll use that one. But in the case here, if we go back to our virtual IPs, I see what is running on CNode 3.3. I have .5, and I also have .8 as IP addresses. If this CNode were to go through and fail, or in this case here, I'm just going to go through and shut it down. I'm just going to deactivate that CNode. What we're going to see is that those VIP addresses will automatically be redistributed across the rest of them. So this will take just a second or two to go through and run for that, but we'll see those CNodes will be those IP addresses that were on there will be redistributed here. We'll see how fast this GUI will refresh here. Sometimes there's delays with what's displayed here and what gets when these queries happen, because they don't always happen real time. So this, and so this here, we see that CNode 3.3 is no longer listed. And those IP addresses are now redistributed out. And I see that CNode 1 now has 3 addresses on it, and looks like CNode 4 now has 3 addresses on it. Now, if I were to go through and bring that particular CNode back in by reactivating it here, we'll see those addresses change and move back.